What is up, people? How are you? Hope you've been safe in my absence. So, broadcasting live from the Matrix as always. I just wanted to give a quick update. I am feeling lovely. My congestion is done. My cough has gone away. And it turns out that I'm just going to have ringing in my ears, I guess, for the rest of my life. So that's another addition to my fucked up world. So you got a bad knee, the doctor wants to perform surgery, or you just live with your stupid ass knee, right? You got a bad back, nobody can figure out, you go to a chiropractor, guess what? You're living with a shitty back now. Guess what? I've got ringing in my ears now, and that's the way it is. So the only thing I can do is relieve stress. I've been wearing my sunglasses. I haven't smoked a cigarette, which is incredible. It's got to be 3 weeks already. Incredible. Always helps to get sick physically to help you quit something. Don't think I'm going back. I've been taking my vitamins like some of you guys have suggested, and I appreciate all you guys looking out for me. And just remaining in a positive attitude, doing the meditation. I got some meditation tapes I've been chilling out to. Haven't been smoking the weed, and when I have, it's only been vaporizers. Another good option there. Your dabs, if you don't know about it, it's kind of like a weed Play-Doh, and you put it in a vaporizer. Perfect, love it. And 1 or 2 blasts gets you done. Again, I'm not doing this on a daily basis anymore, and again, this is my birthday week. You guys, some of you know me as one person and another person over here. And again, I keep the illusion going. But let's suffice it to say this is my birthday week. We took a ride to Cooperstown, New York to see the Hall of Fame with the kids. Then went to Sleepy Hollow just to scare them. We drove through the Sleepy Hollow cemetery. Stress relief candles. Easy listening music. Just chilling out. Got one of my apartments. We're doing some renovation, and so again, the less trading, the better it seems to be. Anything to keep me away from a screen. At first, again, I'll admit I'm addicted to trading. I love it. I like the action. I like watching the market. I like trying to make money. But if the bull market is back, which it has been for a month. Also, if you've been listening to the Don Harold show, Day Trade show, I did a couple of interviews, maybe 2 or 3. So if you've been listening in, Don has been really, really nice to me, inviting me on the show almost weekly to pretty much give his concession speech of defeat when I told him the market would rally to all-time highs when we reversed 3 weeks ago, begging them not to short anything and staying away from gold and silver and oil. So I've been making some good calls, but again, what does that matter? If you've been watching, I've been putting a little bit on stock twits. Right now, if you want to really talk about stocks for a second, I haven't really changed much since the last we spoke. I've only done 7 trades, maybe, tops, over the last 3 weeks. I'm still in the same QQQ that I bought, in the middle of October during the crash. 91.62, 92.35. We're still in it. Haven't added, haven't subtracted. We got the Alcoa at 13.85. Hadn't bought more, haven't subtracted. One trade that we did was FEYE. Bought it at 28 and change. Wrote it up to 30-something, 32 and change. Sold it before the earnings report came out. Stock plummeted all the way back down to 27.50, even 26 for a second there. And on the way back up, we bought it in the aftermarket that day again at 27.50. And looks like buying on dip still works. Thought about buying Zillow because you got a 90% chance of making money in a bull market. You might as well buy any big dip that you could find. What was the other one? Oh, Alibaba went from one of my most hated trades, and this is if you're going to take away something stock related from this video, it would be one of the best trades that you can do is being smart enough and savvy enough to realize when to change your attitude towards a market or towards an individual stock. Now, again, I was never an Alibaba fan. I thought it was overhyped. I didn't know too much about their financials, nor did I care. It was hyped up enough for me to think that this market would actually start to sell off around the Alibaba IPO. Turned out to be a great opportunity to get in. Again, timing the market still virtually impossible because even though we called the top and we sort of called the bottom, we didn't want to push all of our chips back into the market near those lows. And we have sort of missed a monumental move here in the market. But again, let's talk about Alibaba. Here's a stock that people were just, taking some profits. And even during the market getting hammered, the stock was basically, there was a controlled bid under it. And once the market started to rally again, I said Alibaba will lead us on the way down. Alibaba will probably lead us on the way up. So once the stock broke over $92.50, $93, we put on a little shares. And again, you know me, once it hit 100, sold half, and we're still in the other half. I am under the belief that any stock that can break 100 generally goes to 120. So that's what we're looking for on Alibaba, to get to 120. And once it breaks 120, now this might sound absurd, but when they break 120, usually, inevitably, they get to 200. So again, I'm not planning on selling Alibaba unless it breaks $99. So right now, we're sitting with the QQQ, the Alcoa, the Alibaba, the FEYE, and I'm missing one thing. The Alcoa, the QQQ, the FEYE. We sold the SPCB. We have not bought that back yet. I'm missing something. But I guess I'll look later. I know I own one more thing. It's not US Steel. Q's, Alcoa, Alibaba, FEYE. Come on. Walter Energy. How could I forget our old friend Walter Energy? Now again, let's talk about Alibaba and talk about Walter Energy in the same exact modus operandi. When you go from hating something to loving something, that proves that you are so savvy. Again, I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying when you're smart enough to know you're wrong. Because at one point, I was saying Walter was going to 0. And I said Alibaba might be going to 82, maybe even 76. But when you're savvy enough to admit defeat, those become your best trades. Because obviously you're seeing something that warning you that you should be getting out of your short. Not only get out of your short, but to go long. So when Walter Energy came out with their earnings last week and the stock didn't tank, even though it did that day momentarily, the next day we saw buying coming back into the stock, into the Republican takeover of the world. Republicans like their coal. Remember, Mitt Romney? I love coal. I love it. I love coal. I love everything coal. I love to wrap my body in coal. I love to paint my body black, pretend I'm a... Anyway, Mitt Romney, remember him? Not as if the Republicans are going to win back the presidency. I'm thinking now we've had a black president. It's time for a woman president. And guess what, guys? You know what's coming next, right? Like it or not, Jews for president, it's coming. And this guy might be right on the cusp. So let's say I build my fortune, my empire, and over the next several years I start my campaign. This Jew for president, let's say not in 2 years, not in 4 years, but let's say 10 years from now, when my criminal record is totally expunged and nobody cares that I smoked weed or got arrested for it back when I was 22 and 25 years old and 27 one time again, 3 times. I'm the only idiot that gets caught smoking weed on the street 3 different times. But again, does anybody care about that anymore? No, it's going to be legal within 3 or 4 years. I say let everybody out of jail. If there's people in jail that were just selling weed, you should just let these people out. All right, we've strayed from the path. But BABA and WLT, smart enough to realize that these were trades that were not good to be short anymore. We reversed our portfolio, our positions, and flipped the script and went long the Walter. Now again, for me, Walter Energy was an all or nothing kind of trade. Once I went long, I didn't care what was going to happen. Either I was going to sell it if it broke $2.05, or I was going to hold on for the lotto ticket that it was and maybe get the stock to $3.85, possibly $5 sometime in the future. No time horizon for this, but I think right now, considering what the stock has done, if I was trading, I would guarantee, and by the way, I started buying 205, 215, 220, and a lot, huge amount at 227. Now, again, knowing my strategies and attitudes towards the market, you have to believe and understand that I sold most of it between 250 and 260, okay? And then seeing it going up to 303 and then coming back to 275. If I was around, you could pretty much be certain that I would have dumped it. But again, not watching the market on a daily basis kept me in the trade, because at this point, it's free money. If Walter goes to zero right now, wouldn't make a difference. I would just lose the money that I just made on the Walter. It would be a zero trade. So at this point, now I can put a stop on Walter at around 285, 274, 265, and 251 on the rest of my lots, and hold on. So again, I am not planning on trading. Really haven't done the broadcast in about 2 or 3 weeks. There's really nothing for me to talk about because I'm not doing any intraday trading. If something gets alerted, it's going to be either on the Qs, the Alcoa, the Alibaba, the FEYE, or the Walter. And I really haven't been paying much attention to anything. I did notice that Gov't reported earnings today, another company that we had given up on about a year ago, maybe even more now. Once CNBC was hyping it up in the 30s and everybody was loving it at 35 and it was getting short squeezed and then tanked, that stock has been absolutely dead money. It's had a couple of nice pops off lows, but I still see no reason to want to own this stock. It's a decent trader if you could buy it on dips. And then we talk about KNDI. It was the other trade that I had just sold out of. And again, I didn't have a large position, but I just can't allow that stock. I have such an affection for the stock. I love it, yet I hate it at the same time. Again, it's a Chinese stock. We don't really know if they make cars. We don't know if they're actually making money. And we certainly don't know when they're going to report earnings. And I know somebody just watched this video. What are you talking about? Of course they make cars. Of course we know when they're going to report. I've called the company. I speak Chinese. I know exactly what's going on. Do you? Don't you think there's a reason that the stock is one of the most heavily shorted stocks out there? Do you think that the shorts, who are generally smarter than people that are just buying stocks, because if you're shorting something, you've done extensive work, extensive research into why you believe the stock's going to go down, because in theory, you're doing a trade that you have an infinite loss capability. So you better have done your homework. There's a reason people are shorting KNDI. Now, I personally would not short this stock. Again, if it breaks down under those recent lows, 11 and change, possibly goes back to 9, 5, and 2. But that hasn't happened. It keeps holding support and having these nice bounces. So there is support there for KNDI. That being said, do we know when they report? They might be reporting right now as we're making this video. Yes, the split personality in my head, the Edward Mondrake that's growing in the back of my skull. If you're not watching American Horror Story, you're missing out. Some of the most riveting television I've seen in years. Riveting. Riveting. And I don't use that word ever, except to describe what I just watched in the last couple of episodes of American Horror Story Freak Show. Good stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go back because I need to talk to a contractor to install kitchens. If you are in the Brooklyn area, and you know about installing kitchens, email me. Also, before I go, I'd like to talk to you about a guy that I know from Australia. I'm going to put his link in the section, the comments section of the video today, or wherever. They're doing a bike tour. They're trying to raise money for... Oh, wait. Oh, I thought I heard the Edward Mondrake song. Wait, I don't want to quote exactly what it is before I know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, I'm sorry. I thought I had this up prior to making the video. Well, my friends in Australia, they're planning on bicycling 300 kilometers. It's a lot of kilometers. 20 days of biking to raise money for cerebral palsy. So I'll put the link in there. Go check out his website. And again, anybody who's doing anything for a good cause, you just let me know and I'll help you promote it as much as I can. Also, just another thanks to Don Harold, the Day Trade Show. He's been, we've been doing some videos together lately. Also, Benzinga, if you haven't heard my couple of videos on the Benzinga morning show, doing that a couple of times. And I got a couple other interviews in the works. So just look around. Search for Hit the Bid on the Google, and you'll probably find some things I'm doing. But sitting in front of the screen, it's not going to be one of them. All right, guys, be safe, and God bless the USA government-induced bull market. I think it's going to last 18 months, 36 months, maybe the next 4 or 5 years, maybe for 18 or 20 years from now. Who knows? We might be on the precipice of the super boom that we've heard so many people say is coming. Dow 20,000 is just going to be a pit stop. 25,000, 30,000, Dow 50,000, the NASDAQ 12,000, and the Qs 143 seems like it's just going to be, you know, easily achieved within the next 18 months like I predict. 143 on the Qs, and we're all going to be living La Vida Loca. Whatever the hell that means.